All right, let's see. How's everybody doing? Let me know if my volume is good. I'm still working out some of the technical stuff because, like, in my headphones, the music's like not loud at all. But when I pull up the stream, it's like kind of loud. So let me know if the music's too loud. Let me know if my mic volume's too loud. Just give me an update in the comments below. But what's up, everybody? Welcome to Optimal Levels. We just wanted to go live tonight. I had some time. I said, you know what? We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Let's go ahead and talk about it. We got a lot of Avengers Doomsday stuff. We talked a lot about Avengers Doomsday already on this channel. What was that? Oh, okay. We got to talk more about it. I'm excited, man. I think that I'll be honest with you. I have no idea what I'm supposed to talk about right now in this intro. I used to have the intros down pretty well. Is anybody out there? Is anybody there? Is anybody on the other side of the computer? Maybe you're watching on a tablet. Maybe you're watching on a big screen TV. Maybe you're watching on your phone. Maybe you're checking in on this with an AM radio. I'm not sure. But whatever it is, let me know you're here if you're here. We got a couple of people in the chat. We're just going to roll with it, man. If we have one person in the chat, we're going to roll. If we got 3,477, we're going to roll. I'm thinking it's going to be somewhere in between there. But we're going to go here pretty soon to talk about some different figures here. I mean, it's no secret. San Diego Comic-Con just arrived. Didn't just arrive, actually went. My cat's here too. The interesting thing about it is I knew we were going to be getting a lot of announcements, but I was kind of shocked how many announcements we actually had. Let's change up the music here because I just need something a little bit more like laid back. I'm not surprised at the first wave of announcements that we got because they did push back the movie. So when the movie gets pushed back, it's inevitably going to give us figures. And I've talked about it before with like the Gambit figure, for instance. Like we got Gambit. That was something they were probably working on already with Deadpool Wolverine. So that's right out of the gate. They're just going to push that back to Avengers Doomsday. The ones that really shocked me that we got right out of the gate, I think Magneto was the one that really just shocked me that we got right out of the gate. I was expecting Doom. I was expecting Gambit for the reason I mentioned earlier is because I feel like they were already working on that character. But I'll be honest with you, the first wave, I think, was really exciting for me because that's just the first wave of it. And I think we're going to get even more of course we're going to get more. We're going to get so many figures from this movie. But we're about to jump into it. We're just going to talk about a lot of figures, I guess. I mean, we'll also talk about, like, I kind of want to talk about the whole San Diego Comic-Con with Avengers Doomsday as well. There's some things I loved about it, some things I didn't love about it. But I will say, just from a Hot Toys perspective, just from a collector perspective, I think you got to be pretty pleased with what we have so far. And we're about to jump into it. We got somebody already in the building. We got Ashpool. We got Ashpool in the building. He says, "What's up, Plastic Crickets? What's up, Ashpool? I love the different variation of the name. Don't know how long you've had it, but I love it. But I hope you're doing well, man. Thank you for being here. We're, like I said, Ash, earlier on, maybe it'll just be us in the chat tonight. We'll chat. If you got to bounce, that's cool, man. We're just gonna do the show as if there's 20 people in the chat, 30 people in the chat. Even if there's only one person all night, I'm just gonna be talking as if there were people in the chat. But if you have something you want to comment, let me know down below. We're going to jump into our first discussion here. And I think we got to start with Dr. Doom. We got to start with Dr. Doom himself. And that's what we're going to do right now. So we're going to jump in. But thank you, Ash, for being here, man. Hope you're doing well. I've already said that three or four times. But, you know, it is what it is. All right, let's see. Do I got a scene pulled up here? Let's see. What do I got here? Oh, we got to crop this down a little bit. Or I got to move. Hold on. Let me move over. There we go. All right, here we go. Man, I'm telling you, I said this last week because I randomly went live last week. I used to have this down pretty well. You do enough live streams, you get it. But now I kind of have a different look, different. You can see around me. Don't got the collection behind me anymore. Kind of got some new. Kind of have to just pop up the stuff when I feel like streaming. And it takes a little while to get back in the swing of things. So hopefully we'll get through the growing pains and we'll start getting back to where it needs to be. But here we go. We got these figures up here, and the first one we're gonna look at, like I said, we got to start with Doctor Doom, right? We got to start with Doctor Doom. We got to start with the Doctor Doom Ultimate Edition. We're just gonna go straight to the Ultimate Edition here, the Ultimate Version Special Edition, and here you have them right here. So we're gonna double click to zoom here. And then we're going to double click out. Just make sure we got everything in place here. Okay. Look, this was no surprise. Like, this was no surprise whatsoever. Like, I pretty much knew we were going to be getting multiple Doctor Dooms. I think we're going to be getting multiple Doctor Dooms. We already see that there's going to be 4 different versions you can get. They're doing the thing where it's like the Collector's Edition, the Special Collector's Edition, the Special Ultimate Collector's Edition, the Collector Special Ultimate Collector's Edition. So we get 4 different ones. We were starting to see that a lot. We saw that with the Fantastic Four as well. They're giving you like little collectibles to go along with your collectible. I think it's a nice touch. If it doesn't cost anymore, I think it's a nice touch just to get you to kind of, incentivize you for pre-order and maybe, a little bit more than you would have. But the thing about it is with Doctor Doom, I think we're definitely going to be getting an RDJ sculpt at some point. I mean, they're keeping that under wraps. We're not going to get that version of the character until the movie is released because they're keeping that very close to the chest. That reveal is going to be, I think there's something to that reveal. I think that it's going to be more than what people think. I think a lot of people think it's just going to be like his face is going to be a little scarred up. I think they're going to be playing around with a lot of different secrets and reveals. I think the Russo brothers understand that, like, we have to have, like, they understand what they did with Infinity War and Endgame. You have to have these huge moments that people are going to talk about. It's almost like those viral moments, like what are people going to be talking about on TikTok the next day? What are people going to be talking about on the talk shows like we're doing here? This isn't a talk show, but a live stream. What's the thing that's going to get people talking, No longer can you just have a great Avengers movie and it's like, oh man, that was a great Avengers movie. They want to have some secrets up their sleeve, and I think they are going to have it. And I think the Doom reveal is going to be one of them. But we're definitely going to be getting that. But all we can go based on is what we have right here. And this is the first wave. This is the first figure. We had, it's Doomsday. We got to start with Doom. And I can just tell you right now, you can kind of see all the different things you can get with this. You got the dual color switchable LED lighting, yellow and green. We get the Sentinel here. And, there's been some talks of like some leaks and stuff of like some of the scenes that are in this movie. And they've talked about like the Sentinel. So again, if you've kind of been following along, you kind of knew that there was going to be some Sentinel stuff. You kind of knew that Doom was going to be using Sentinels in some capacity, especially with the big focus on the X-Men. With that said, I think it's so badass that we're getting this as like, I think this is a great base. I really do. I think this is really cool. I personally think this is really cool. And I think it's, once you see the movie, I think it's going to make it even better. Let's go to the comments though. We got Ashpool saying, I got nowhere to go. LOL. Me neither, man. We're just going to be talking about figures then, aren't we, Ash? And then Ash says, I do have Gambit and Cyclops pre-ordered, and we're going to get to those, man. I'm really hyped for the Cyclops, dude. I've been talking a lot about it. James Marsden Cyclops, dude, doesn't get the credit he deserves. I hated The Last Stand for what they did to my boy Cyclops. There were some good elements in that movie, but that movie just didn't do it for me. But X2, X1, I just thought Marsden as Cyclops was so good, and I'm hoping that he brings the heat again. And we're getting. I mean, look, we're on Doom right now, Ash. We're on Doom. But we're going to be talking plenty about Cyclops. Trust me, man. I think these are good pre-orders. We got Brick Artemis in the building. Brick, thank you so much for being here, man. Really appreciate it, dude. I hope you're doing well, man. I hope you're doing well. It's been a while since I've chatted with you, but I really hope you're doing well, dude. I hope everything's going well in your world, man. And truly appreciate you being here. Says, yo, Spider-Man tomorrow. I cannot wait for Spider-Man, dude. I cannot wait for the Spider-Man movie. And I'm not trying to say that I had a good feeling about it, because the early reviews are positive, all this different stuff. But listen, I've had a really good feeling about this since the first footage we've gotten of it. And I think this movie is going to be incredible. I really do. I think this movie is going to do so much for Marvel because it's Spider-Man. It's going to make a crap load of money just because it's Spider-Man. It doesn't even have to be good. It's going to make a lot of money because it's Spider-Man. But this is kind of the start of a new trilogy of films. They're doing a really good job of like adding in some different characters without making it feel overstuffed. I think we're going to really get the best Tom Holland performance that we've gotten so far in the Spider-Man films. And man, I can't tell you enough how excited I am for this movie. And I think it's going to do really good things for Doomsday, because I think that there's going to be that post-credit sequence. But I think this movie is going to have so much goodwill in it. And look, aside from the Odyssey, we've kind of had a lull in the summer movie season. So like Spider-Man's going to just make a ton of money. It just has to be good for people to freak out about it, because we haven't had like a great... It feels like we haven't even had a Spider-Man movie lately, even though it hasn't been that long since we've had one. But I just think that this is going to do so much for Doomsday that we're going to look back and like we're going to look at the box office of Doomsday, and we're going to really be pointing to Brand New Day as like, man, that kind of felt like, even though Doomsday is the one that everybody's kind of talking about, and rightfully so, it's like a huge Avengers movie. Brand New Day might be that movie that really gets Marvel, I don't want to say back on track, you know, because that's kind of cliche. I mean, everybody's kind of saying that, but it's like, it feels like just based on the trailers that we're getting a return to like really good character movies where it's not just always a team up. You know what I mean? I know he's got Punisher, I know he's got Hulk, I get that, but like anytime I see the trailer, I feel like this is a Peter Parker story, and I'm really excited to explore that. So anyway, that was my long rant about it, but I'm excited too, man. I cannot wait to see it. I'm 95% sure that I'm seeing it on Thursday, so we'll see. I'll let you know. I'll have like a review or something. But yeah, but thanks for being here, Brick. Hope you're doing well. Ash, thank you for being here as well. We got 6 in the chat. Hit that thumbs up button if you're in the chat. Say what's up. I'd love to talk to you guys. We're talking about all these figures that were revealed at San Diego Comic-Con. We're talking about Doctor Doom first, and we got to get through some of these pictures. I'm still on picture 3. So the thing that I can tell you right off the bat with Doctor Doom is this, like, you know, Doomsday is that Doom movie. You know, I mean, the whole marketing is around Robert Downey Jr. returning as Doctor Doom. And we already had that really good comic version that was out. So you're going to have to really decide like which one you want. I mean, for me, I'm just a huge, like, I like to collect the MCU personally. I love the Marvel stuff. Don't get me wrong. I love the way it looks. I even love the Hano Studio stuff. I love all that stuff. But I need to have this Doctor Doom, man. I feel like if you're going to be building a Doomsday lineup, you got to have Doom. And the only trepidation I have on this, and I don't think it's a big one, because I think that the one that we get with the head sculpt, I think it's going to be worthy of having 2 in your collection, because I feel like the head sculpt one that we're eventually going to get is going to be really, really good as well. So we're going to get multiples of these. I love the flame effects, the green flame effect here. I love the different effects here. It kind of reminds me of like the Scarlet Witch figures where they have the stuff on the hand and wrists. And man, this just looks really good to me. I mean, it just looks really good, and I knew it would, because we've kind of already seen this. They're staying really true for the most part to the costume design of Doom. So I'm kind of glad that they just very loyal to that. And again, I just think that this is, and again, I kind of go back and forth because I don't really have the space for a ton of these big bases. But if I'm going to get one of these like ultimate editions from this, it's going to be with the Doom, because I think that having him in the middle of your Doomsday shelf like this, plus we're going to talk about the throne here in a little bit, that'd be the best version to get, to be honest with you. But that's an extra like $150. But having that in the middle with all the other characters around it, I think is the way to go. I think that's what a lot of people are going to do. But dude, this just looks great. I mean, and again, it's one of those figures that like, there's not much to it, but there's still a lot of hype around it because it's Doctor Doom. It's from Doomsday. You know, it's like a villain. You know, it's kind of like when Infinity War came out and you got some Thanos. But here, this is really cool too. If we're going to zoom in on this, you can kind of see this different stuff here. You got the LED lighting. You got the Sentinel hand here. The really good stuff. I mean, after a while, there's just not a whole lot else you can say. I mean, it looks good. I think that it's going to be something that, you got to decide what version you want of it. But I definitely could see us getting multiple Dooms. I think there's no secret there. And it's going to happen. So let's check in with the chat. We got DeGito in the building. Saying, hey, they're making it really hard not to pre-order something. I do think we may get a die-cast Doom sometime later. So can I wait? Man, I don't think you're going to be in any I don't think there's any rush to really pre-order these figures, to be honest with you, unless you really want like the ultimate special edition thing. It's kind of like with the Fantastic Four. Like, if you want that little piece, that collector's edition piece or whatever, then I would pre-order it. If you don't really care about that stuff, man, I think that these are going to be pretty easy to obtain. So I don't feel like you really need to put it on pre-order personally. But if you want to just pay it off over time and just have the figure when it releases, cool. Um, but I do think that them kind of incentivizing pre-orders with these different collectibles. I mean, for diehard fans, for people that really want to have that extra little collectible item, I think it is maybe worth pre-ordering. I pre-ordered the John Wick 4 figure. I forgot, through Sideshow. I guess it got like he came with like a exclusive weapon or something. Sometimes they come with, like, those Star Wars figures came with those coins. So if that's a big deal to you, cool. For me, I go back and forth. I do think Doom is the one character that I would consider pre-ordering out of all these. And again, if I get a low Stark alert, maybe I'll jump on one. But all these that are been talked about so far, we've already talked about Doom so far. But I think out of the first wave, I feel like I'm pretty comfortable that, like, I'm really kind of interested to see how quickly they give us another Doom, because they're giving it to us so early, the announcement. And again, I think a lot of that has to do with the movie being pushed back. And so when the movie gets pushed back, like, they've already been in the process of making some of these figures. But I don't see us getting anything until, like, the movie's been out a couple weeks, because I think the Doom reveal with the face sculpt is going to be a big deal. It's going to be like a spoilery thing, even though, like, you kind of know it's going to be RDJ. You don't exactly know what he's going to look like. So anyway, that was kind of a rant, Guido. But I'm with you, man. It'd be cool if we did get a diecast. That'd be really sick. I mean, if they're going to do it for a character, why not do it with Doom? You know what I mean? Ashpool says that first trailer has me hyped. So hyped now. I'm assuming we were talking about Brand New Day, but I'm assuming you're talking Doomsday here. I did like the Doomsday trailer, Ash. I did like it. There were some things I didn't love about it, and I think it's this thing where, and look, I'd rather them keep stuff secret than have a cool trailer. As weird as that sounds, like, I love a great trailer, Ash. But I'd rather them keep the stuff secret. But it's so evident when you watch these trailers now that Marvel puts out, that they're removing characters digitally. There's dead space in the screen. Everybody's using the volume now, and so everything just looks like it's taking place like on a green screen. And again, I know it's Avengers. I know that that's how they're going to do it. But it's just becoming more and more noticeable with, like, kind of the tricks they're doing with, like, taking characters out, putting characters in that really aren't there. Characters that are really together in the trailer aren't really going to be together in the movie. So I think that, me personally, man, it's a good trailer, but I was disappointed in it, to be totally honest with you, Ash. And I look back at trailers like, everybody should go back and watch the Avengers Age of Ultron trailer. The first trailer they released for that movie. Because to me, that's like an incredible trailer. And again, like I said, I'd rather have a mediocre trailer in an incredible movie than the other way around. But, and we're talking about Doomsday, with Dune Part 3 coming out. The Dune trailer just feels like a complete trailer to me. And Doomsday, I feel, is being kind of, they have to kind of only show us what they want us to see, because I think there's so many surprises that they have in store for us that they really are having to be creative with how they market the movie. And but yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, dude, I'm still, like, insanely excited for it. But, like, out of all the Avengers movies, this one felt like the most, it was weird. It just felt kind of rushed to me. It kind of felt like a rushed trailer. Kind of felt like they were trying to make it epic, but it just didn't have that weight to it that, like, when Infinity War trailer came on and you heard Thanos for the first time, there was, like, a big weight to that. With Doom, it was cool to hear him, but it didn't have the same weight. I don't know. It might just be me, but that's just how I view it. We got Yomo in the building. He says, Justin, my guy, what's up, Yomo? Hope you're doing well, man. Thanks for being here, dude. I hope you're having a great night. And we're just talking about our first figure of the night here. We're talking about Dr. Doom. We're about to talk about the next figure. So let me know in the comments below, actually, because I don't have anything else. I don't have this, like, on a schedule. So we can talk about Cyclops. We can talk about who else was announced? Magneto. I mean, I made the thumbnail. I should know the Cyclops, Magneto, or Gambit. Let me know in the comments below right now who you want to talk about next, and we're gonna pull it up and we're gonna talk about it. And then we got the real Mike L. We got the real Mike L here. He says, "Me, I figure big time." That's what I'm talking about. Real Mike L. I appreciate you being here, man. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the comment. I hope you're doing well. Random Tuesday stream. Trying to just stream a little bit more when I have the time, when I feel motivated, when I feel like I have something to say. I hit that live button. You know what I mean? I hit that live button and we're just chatting now. And plus, it's Doomsday, so I'm really excited for to finally get some figures to talk about from the movie. I've done some Road to Doomsday stuff, and I've been waiting to kind of see what we're gonna get. And I'm excited. I'm excited for we have a big focus on X-Men, which is very exciting. But thanks for being here, man. Hope you're doing well. And if nobody has any, anybody that they really want to talk about next, then we might just jump into Cyclops. Let me know if Cyclops sounds good. We got Ash here. He said, "I just love Doom's stopping Stormbreaker. That was badass to me." I did like that. Don't get me wrong, Ash. I think that there was a lot of really cool moments in the trailer. I'm talking about more of those like other moments where like everybody's on the ship talking. It's like the new Avengers, and like you could tell that there's characters that aren't really there. I guess that's Wakanda where they're at. I'm not really sure, but it's the part where like Shuri, Black Panther, and the Thing are there. Everything just looks kind of like I don't know how else to say it. It kind of looks like a Disney Plus show or something in some of the moments in the trailer. Now, again, they're probably doing a ton of like post-production work on the visual effects and stuff. So again, it just didn't have that same weight to it, but that was a cool moment in the trailer. But I definitely do feel like it's I don't know, man. I'm very interested to see this one is like one that I'm just very, very interested to see how they can pull it off. And I think that if they were smart, I think that like the anticipation is going to be through the roof for fans. But it's almost like they're playing things, kind of downplaying everything, which I think is very interesting. And I think that could actually be to its benefit, because I think they're almost like kind of wanting people to kind of doubt it a little bit and kind of want people to feel like it's a mess in production and like nobody was there at the same time and all this. And maybe they were. I don't know. But I mean, I'm still going to be there. Yomo says, "I'm down for any of the X-Men talk. They're all coming home." That's what I'm talking about, Yomo. I mean, I think that this is definitely an exciting time for people that have been waiting on some live action X-Men. And we're about to enter in like a huge phase of X-Men here. And let's just talk about this last picture with Doom here with the separate rolling eyeballs. Again, if you already had the one on pre-order, I don't think anybody, well, I don't want to speak for anybody. There's people that are going to get both. But for me, I want the MCU version one personally, just because that's just what I like to collect a little bit more. But man, if you already have that other one on pre-order, you already have that. I think that one's still up for pre-order, right? The comic version, man, that one's incredible too. But this one, I'm very excited to kind of see how many Dooms we're going to get from this, because I could see it being a lot. So let's go to another. Let's start talking about the X-Men, and we got Cyclops here with the deluxe version, and then we got the deluxe edition. So we got so many different editions now. Deluxe version exclusive. Okay, I will say the metal rings are kind of cool. Like again, if it's not any more expensive, how much is this? How much is this one? Oh, my screen is blocking it. Okay, it's $390. The deluxe version, $390. So yeah, that's what you're gonna have to really ask yourself. Like, is some of this worth a $100 upgrade with the base? I don't think all these characters are worth the deluxe upgrade, but let me just tell you this. Let me just tell you this right now. This figure right here is a 100% must-have, in my opinion. I personally think that this is an absolute must-have figure. And not only do I love James Marsden's portrayal of Cyclops in the first couple movies, we finally get the comic accurate suit. It looks incredible. We get the jacket that we're going to look at here in a second. Out of all these that we're talking about today, for me, this is the one where I really stop and I'm like, you got to have this figure, man. Even more than Doom, as crazy as that sounds. Because again, I think we're gonna get another Doom. So we're just talking about like if I had to really rank these, um, and again, I'd have to see the movie because maybe who knows how big these characters are in the movie. But everything that I'm seeing is like there's a reason we're kind of getting this as the first wave. Aside from Gambit, I think Gambit plays a big role in this movie, but I do think that they were already working on Gambit for Deadpool Wolverine, and they just decided to hold off and just be like, let's just make that a Doomsday figure. This to me seems like a really big deal. This to me is like a really exciting announcement, and one that it's kind of like one of those announcements where you like makes it fun to collect. You know what I mean? Because we get so many of the same characters a lot of times. And we get characters, whether it be 2.0s or artisan version or sculpted version or whatever. We get a lot of iconic characters. To get a James Marsden Cyclops to me is a huge deal, and so I'm super happy about this. I think it looks phenomenal. I really do think this prototype looks absolutely phenomenal, and I think the suit looks great. I just think everything about this is like top level. Like I really, really like this a lot. And this is one that they got the jacket behind the paywall, man. And that's that's the tough thing. And I do think that the jacket is probably worth it. The jacket for $100 extra. I mean, it's probably worth it. I could see myself being okay with because you're seeing the differences in the deluxe bases. Like they want all these to look really good together, and I think there's a big value in that. But it is $390 for like a deluxe figure, and you're kind of trying to see like, what do I really want to spend $390 on on a base and all this stuff? And that's really up to you, I guess. But for me, for my money, it's like if Doom's in the middle with his Sentinel base, and then you got the other characters kind of like doing other stuff, I think that's going to be the coolest look. So as cool as this base looks, because I actually really like this base as well, there's a part of me, as much as I want that leather jacket, and I do think it's worth it if you really want that. There's a part of me that's wondering how many of the deluxe versions I'm going to get, because this line is going to go super deep, and so that's that's an interesting thing. Let's see what else we got in the chat here. We got Ashpool saying, yeah, like they're hiding cameos like Deadpool Wolverine. Yeah, and I've been saying this for a while. I mean, Deadpool is 100% going to be in the movie. There's going to be a few characters in the movie that they're not revealing yet that are going to play a bigger role in Secret Wars than they are in Doomsday, but they're still going to be there. The people that you're seeing on the posters, the people that you're seeing, pay attention to the posters, pay attention to the waves of toys, pay attention to Lego sets, pay attention to anything that's like promotional material for the movie, and you can be rest assured that at least that's going to be the main core of the movie. Now, could we still get a major character that's revealed that plays a huge role in the movie? Absolutely. But I think that they're keeping, you said it best right here with the cameo. I think it's going to be like an extended cameo, meaning I could see them being in a scene, kind of think of it as like like you had mentioned with the Deadpool Wolverine. Think about Blade, think about Elektra, think about Gambit. Those type of things where they're in like one scene, but that scene is like super memorable and super badass. I definitely think they're hiding stuff like that in the trailer. I definitely think Deadpool is 100% in the movie. And yeah. Ash also says, I think it'll be very cool to see Cyclops and Steve go head to head, like back and forth at each other. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. They're gonna have that element of it where you kind of already saw it in the trailer with Cyclops and Shang-Chi. They're gonna have that element of it about all these multiverses, all these different groups like clashing and stuff. I just hope they don't follow the same formula that did in Infinity War. That's the only thing. And I know a lot of people are like, well, wait a minute, Infinity War was incredible. Why wouldn't they do that? Because the reason Infinity War works so well is not only because of the buildup, but because of this idea of like we're basically following Thanos's, like he was the hero of that story. You know what I mean? Not to us, but like like we were following him as if he was the hero of the story, like the storytelling tactics there, where we basically followed his journey throughout that movie. I think they're going to do the same thing with Doom, but I'm hoping they have some different variations of that. I think that Loki's going to play a huge role in this as well, that we haven't even discussed that at all. Um, but I think I hope they don't just continue to go back to what worked in Infinity War and Endgame and try to do something fresh with it. I'd rather them take some chances and fail miserably than just play it safe. So I do think the Russos are going to try to take some big swings, and so we're going to see like what different mashups we're going to have and what different stuff we're going to have, and I'm excited to see it. Um, you almost said Scott looks amazing. I'm so glad they threw in the jacket. Only small nitpick is that I have is with it is wish it came with a long blast effect option. Yeah. Other than that, it's perfection. Yeah, I do think this is a great prototype. I mean, I think this is about as close as perfect as you can get with a prototype, because again, the sculpt's there, the costumes there, just everything's there, and it's a character that a lot of people have been wanting for a while, especially if you're an X-Men fan. Like, this is just like, Christmas in July, so Brick says Cyclops looks good, but I just need the jacket, not the base. That's me too, and I think that's why they put it in there, Brick. I mean, you know this already. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, but that's they knew what they were doing with that jacket. And I do think it's worth, because I don't know, I don't really customize figures, but I mean, I would assume that if you tried to go get a jacket like that, like people are going to be selling that jacket for like a couple $100. So it's worth it just to probably go ahead and order the one with the jacket, because people are going to be selling that online like for at least $100. So, I mean, even more than that, because if they didn't want the jacket, they're going to want to make some type of profit. But I think if you want the jacket, you need to get the jacket. I just know that with how deep this line's going to go, I just don't know how many of these deluxe editions, ultimate editions I can get. I got to really decide. Sorry about that. I hit that thing. Because there's a lot of characters, man, that I'm just really excited to see if they get figures for this movie. But Cyclops is one that I definitely, I just feel like the jacket, I don't want to say it's a must, but it feels about as close to a must as you can get. Like you said, I'd rather have that than the base itself. Like, that to me is like just a huge part of the character, or the look of the character. Guillermo says, dream display for me is to actually have the X-Men posed with a bunch of Sentinel pieces. So these Sentinel options, sorry, I'm reading on like a smaller computer, so forgive me if I'm like tripping up on this, Yomo. Make it a little easier to see that rather than going third party custom. I do like that, and I do think that the Sentinels are going to play a huge role in this movie. They're already putting in a lot in the promotional material, so there's going to be a huge set piece built around that. So I think that'd be a really cool option, man. Ash says, well, I knew Doom's going after Cap for what he did in Endgame. He did go back to 616, and they are saying because incursions. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, is like they're gonna really follow a little bit of that Infinity War feel. I just hope they do enough different with it to where it feels like it doesn't just feel like a rehash of Infinity War. Like, it feels different. It feels like its own story. So we'll see. But yeah, I think. Look, I mean, this Cyclops, I mean, it's incredible, man. And I cannot wait for the X-Men stuff to start coming out. And I hope we do some more Midnight Suns. I mean, I'm thinking ahead to like, we got Ryan Gosling as Ghost Rider. We have David Johnson as the new Black Panther, it looks like. So we got a lot of big movies coming out. Black Panther 3, Ghost Rider. Can we please get a Midnight Suns movie? Can we please get some more Moon Knight? Can we get some more Doctor Strange? Can we get some more, so there's so many characters that I just feel like they're going to be in these movies. There's no way that we're not going to get some type of Ghost Rider. I don't think it's going to happen in Doomsday, but Secret Wars, anything like there's going to be cross-pollination like there always is. And so I'm excited to see what we get with that. But just to stay on task here with this Cyclops, man, I mean, my goodness, they really knocked the sculpt out of the park. I do think the jacket is just like incredible. I mean, the jacket's incredible. I feel like you almost got to have it. Let's take a look at this last photo here. I mean, that looks badass. I think it looks amazing. Very excited for this figure, and very excited for to talk about Magneto next. Let's talk about Magneto next, and we'll save Gambit for the last. And don't forget, there is, and if you can see right here, and there's some images too, but we're gonna get a Sentinel, we're getting a Professor X, So there has been some images online. Oh, I thought they'd have it on there, but there's been people who have taken pictures of the Professor X and the Beast um, from dang, did it just take me? Okay, from Comic Con. The Beast looks better. The Beast looks good, but out of all of them, that's the one that I think needs the most work. I think the Professor X looks really good too. And just really quickly before we go over to Magneto, this is the Doom's Throne for $210. Man, I'll be honest with you. That's a steep price, but I will say that this is a pretty incredible. This is pretty incredible. Like, this is pretty cool. And I'm not sitting here and saying, I mean, that this is almost the cost of an entire figure. So I'm not even going to give my opinion on it, but I do think that it's worth it if you're really wanting a Doctor Doom and like you're going to make this like the centerpiece of your display for like a Doomsday line. And again, I'm not even saying, I don't even want to say it's worth it because it is $210. But for me personally, I would rather get the Doom without the base, get the $285 version of Doom, and get this than get the $395 version. That's probably the route I would take personally. But it looks incredible. It looks incredible. Let me know if you're going to get the. Let me know if you're going to get this. Let me know if you're going to get that. I'm very interested to see how many people are excited about that and if they're going to be picking that up. But let's take a look at this Magneto here. This is the deluxe version exclusive. And we got Magneto here. And the thing about Magneto that's really cool is that we're getting Ian McKellen's Magneto, which is really exciting. And I think that they just absolutely crushed it with the head sculpt here. I love how he's got the helmet. I love that he's got, it's almost like this Magneto has the Michael Fassbender Magneto costume. And I think it looks incredible. And I would just, if they can somehow give us characters from the Michael Fassbender, James McAvoy line in these movies, that would be insane. But man, I'm telling you, this figure looks great too, man. I mean, I keep saying it, but since we haven't gotten any X-Men figures like this in a while, this to me just feels like another like almost must-have figure if you're really wanting to collect the Doomsday line. Like if you're really wanting to collect, you know, Yomo, you mentioned it, an X-Men line. You know, like these are figures that you can just have a lot of versatility with. The beauty about this first wave is that every single character has a way to where you don't feel this like need to get all of them, because Cyclops can kind of, you can buy Cyclops and then you can kind of hold off. Like, okay, let me wait to see what other figures come out. Say you already have that Wolverine. You can just go ahead and pair him with that Wolverine. They both have the comic accurate suit. With the Gambit, you can put him right in with the Deadpool Wolverine stuff and wouldn't miss a beat. Even though it's Doomsday, you could put him right there and it would be fine. With this Magneto, you can say, you know what? I'm going to collect Magneto and Professor X, and that's going to kind of represent my Fox X-Men trilogy figures, you know? And then with Doom, you could literally just get Doom in his throne, and that could be your Doomsday stuff. So there's levels to this, you know? There's levels to, like, how deep am I going to go with this line? But there's also really cool branches that you can go, you know. So there's some people that might just want to get the new Avengers, man. Like, so there's some people that might, if they give us a few of those new Avengers, they might just want to make their Thunderbolts team. There's some people that want to get the new Sam Wilson suit, man. The new Captain America suit that they're gonna have in this movie looks awesome. They might want to get that. They might want to get the Chris Evans, you know, the new Chris Evans, you know, even though he's got a T-shirt on, they might want that. So again, I think there's different ways to collect this line without feeling like you got to go all into it. And I like that there's different branches you can go. And I'm excited to see how that kind of unfolds. But I definitely think that this is a figure that you got to be excited about. And it's one that I was just super hyped to see that it was like on the first wave. And I don't know if that necessarily means that this, you know, this Magneto is going to play a gigantic role in the movie or not. But it seems like a good sign that, like, if this is the first wave of the announcements, then maybe this, you know, maybe Magneto plays a bigger role in this movie than we originally thought. So we'll see. But it just looks really good. And you can kind of see the exclusive again. This is one that it's strange because this is a character that you definitely want to have the Sentinel, because you want him to seem like he's lifting the Sentinels. but you got to make choices. I mean, if you're in the fortunate position where you can get every single deluxe Ultimate Edition, then that's the way you should go. But my thinking is like, which ones do I need? Like, like we were talking about earlier with Brick, like the jacket for Cyclops to me is more important than these bases. The Doom Throne is more important than that base and that collectible ring, So like, there's levels to it and different ways to collect it, but it just looks really good. I'm like really excited for it. And Yomo says Magneto might be one of the ones I'm most excited for. He is my favorite villain, and the suit is amazing. I have the present toy Sentinel Panther. Oh, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, I mean, it's an iconic character, and I just love the Fox X-Men movies, and I just have a ton of nostalgia for them. Plus, I think they're incredible movies. So I definitely want an Ian McKellen Magneto, man, for sure. The sculpt looks perfect. I'm glad he's wool. Yeah, same here. I think this figure looks amazing, man. Out of all the ones we talked about, him and Gambit are the ones where I saw this lineup and I'm like, dude, as much as I loved Channing Tatum's Gambit and Deadpool Wolverine, as much as I love the character Gambit, like the Magneto and the Cyclops to me just felt like a breath of fresh air of like, dude, I'm actually going to get like a couple of characters from the Fox universe of X-Men movies in the collection. That's really exciting. We got Jeffrey Page in the building. What's up, Jeffrey? Hope you're doing well, man. He says, what's up, Justin? Glad. Love those X-Men figures. Hyped for Doomsday. Same here, man. Jeffrey, thank you so much for the comment, dude. We are hyped for Doomsday as well. San Diego Comic-Con was definitely, I think Marvel did an incredible job at Comic-Con. And I'm really proud. I'm really proud of like Marvel for really treating Comic-Con the way it used to be treated by big movie studios. I feel like studios don't do as much during Comic-Con that they used to do because they just release stuff online now and just kind of let word of mouth do the work. But they treated Comic-Con as if it was like, took me back to like when the first Avengers movie came out. Like they really treated it as if it was like this massive jumping off point to this whole new era that we're about to get into. And I think they did a really good job with that. And so, yeah, I think that took the hype to the next level. And Yomo says, you know how long I've been waiting? Yeah, I mean, I know that you were hyped for just based on some of the comments you made in the past, Yomo. I know that Wolverine's your guy, so I know that all these X-Men figures coming out, you're about to get in the X-Men era of the MCU. I know that's got to be exciting, dude. So I can't wait as well. Very excited, dude. And last but certainly not least, let's talk about Gambit. Let's talk about Gambit here. I want to stress this. All four of these announcements I'm extremely hyped for. But now that we're to our fourth, I would rank them like this based on, this is kind of my priority ranking. As hyped as I am for Doomsday, and as much as I want a Doctor Doom, because you don't have to do anything. But I feel like a Doomsday line has to have Doomsday. You know what I mean? But oddly enough, I would probably say my priority list for these figures are Marsden Cyclops 1, Magneto 2, man, I don't know. Doomsday and Magneto or Doom. Look, I'm a big, like, I love head sculpts. Like, I love to see the actors. So that's why Doom, out of all the four that were announced, I'm probably the least hyped for Doom. Not because of the character, not because I don't think it's going to be an incredible villain, but I love the head sculpts, and I know that, like, if you're going to have Doom in the collection, like Doom has one of the coolest helmets, like, masks, whatever you want to call it, like, of all time. So would you really even have the Robert Downey Jr. head sculpt? Probably not. But I do think that there's a world where you have both of those. So I'm kind of, since I know we're going to get another Doom announcement, I think I'm waiting to see what that one looks like. And so that's why it's not number one on my list. But I'd probably put Gambit like in that number 3 range. Again, I love the character of Gambit. I love Channing Tatum's portrayal as it. I think he did really good. But oddly enough, this feels like a Deadpool Wolverine announcement, which is still cool. But it did, like, the the Magneto and the Cyclops felt like Doomsday announcements. Like they felt like, oh wow, like we're actually going to get these figures, you know. Like I think that's because we all knew we were going to get Doom, and we felt pretty confident that we were going to get Cyclops because he was featured in the trailers. So was Magneto, but to actually see those announcements, to me the hype just reached like a fever pitch for me for those announcements. So again, it's hard to rank them because like depending on the day, depending on like how I want the collection to look and all that stuff, I could change it up. But Cyclops and Magneto were a little bit of a step ahead just because it's like, dude, the Fox X-Men trilogy, we're finally going to be getting these characters and they look amazing. So let me know in the comments below like what in order, like which ones out of these four that they've announced are you most excited about. Yeah, Yomo says long time coming for these characters. Yeah, exactly, man. That's how I'm feeling as well. And Yomo also says, seeing all these characters, I hope we get more than that we haven't been confirmed to feel like storage. I do think we're going to get this eventually, Yomo. Like, I do think that, first off, the X-Men era is going to begin very soon after Secret Wars. I think they're going to definitely give us some more X-Men for this movie in Secret Wars. Don't get me wrong, but I definitely think the next wave of announcements we get for Doomsday, when the movie gets a little bit closer, I think is going to be those like other big characters in the movie. Like we're going to get Thor, we're going to get Steve Rogers, we're going to get another Sam Wilson figure, we're going to get hopefully Ant-Man. So again, I do think that they're going to spread this out. But man, we're about to get so many X-Men figures, I feel like. But I'm wanting the Fox characters from the Fox X-Men movies. And I think that's what you're kind of talking about here too, Yomo. That's what I want as well. Because I feel like we're going to get the new characters when they get, you know, with whoever they cast as like the new characters. But there's so much nostalgia for those X-Men movies. And I don't want to just say it's nostalgia. These are incredible movies. Like X2 to me is still one of the best superhero movies of all time. I stand by that. I love X2. And the first X-Men was just, I still think it's incredible as well. And I even loved the First Class, you know, the Michael Fassbender one. Like, I loved all those, man. So again, to finally get these characters, you said it best, dude. Like, long time coming for a lot of these characters, and I'm super hyped that we're getting them. So let's take a look at Gambit here, man. And dude, this looks really good. I mean, that's an incredible Channing Tatum likeness. I mean, you know, every time I see a different character, it's like, this is the one I want the most, you know? But I am extremely excited for this character as well. This is just such a cool looking figure, man. The way the purple shines with his jacket and the wired jacket there, this looks incredible. This is one that a lot of people have been waiting on since Deadpool and Wolverine. Thought they were for sure going to get it with Deadpool and Wolverine. And yeah, dude. I mean, what is there left to say? I mean, the head sculpt looks great. The hair's kind of interesting, but I think that, you know, that's the one little gripe I have with it is the hair kind of, you know, the hair kind of looks, I don't know what I feel about the hair yet, but I think the sculpt work is top notch here. I definitely see the Channing Tatum likeness. Leather-like microfiber material coat, bendable with embedded that or wire embedded. That's really cool. Kind of see the different stuff here. So again, this is one that I can just tell you right now. I definitely think that these are designed to have all the deluxe pieces put together, like you know you were saying in the comments, Shomo, like kind of having like this big Sentinel display. I think that's an incredible route to go. But I can say for a character like Gambit, I'm going to be happy just getting the. Well, I just went all the way back. What happened there? I'm going to be okay getting this right here, the special edition, personally. So this is a character that the standard edition, special edition, I believe is the same. So I'm just going to get the special edition. You know, I'm just going to get the special edition, get the ring, and be happy with that. And I think I'm going to have to make that decision a lot with this line because I don't think I'm going to be getting like every deluxe version. So again, man, it's going to be interesting. I do think they're going to keep bringing these out in waves as not to overwhelm people. Because I definitely think bringing them out in waves is going to help people kind of budget this out. But, you know, there's always that show or that movie that people say, like, man, this is the one I've been waiting for. I'm going to go real deep with this line. Doomsday is that for me. Like, Doomsday is that movie that I've been waiting on. Don't get me wrong. There's still a ton of MCU stuff I'm waiting. You know, if you've been following my channel for a while, like, you know that I desperately want the 2012 Avengers lineup in, like, 2.0 versions. But I've been waiting to see what Doomsday is going to bring us, and I am really focused on this line and kind of just very excited to see what all we get from it. I think this line is going to be massive. I think the toys from this line, not only with Hot Toys, but Hasbro, Lego, anything you could think of, massive waves of toys for this movie. And the awesome thing is we get Doomsday, and then we're going to get Secret Wars, and we're going to get a whole nother wave of stuff. But I definitely think Doomsday is going to have the most stuff because it's the first one out of the gate. And I think that they're going to really throw everything at this collectible wise, because this is an opportunity to have a lot of characters, Cyclops, Magneto, that we never thought we were going to get. And finally Hot Toys has a chance to make those characters and give us reasons to collect more. So yeah, man. Yeah, Gambit looks great. And who else we got here? We got let me get caught up on some comments here. Yomo says, wish they did light up eyes or different color options go into FX. Yeah, I do too. I think that'd be cool. I'm kind of disappointed in that as well, Yomo. I appreciate you bringing that up because I didn't think about that until you just mentioned it, but that would have been really cool. We got Movie Cannon in the building saying hello. What is up, Gio? Hope you're doing well, man. Really good to see you. Hope everything is going well for you, man. Truly appreciate you dropping in to leave a comment. And I know I've said it 3 times already, man, but seriously, I hope you're doing well. And thank you again for the comment. Yomo says, I think they did the luminous thing on the eyes for this. Oh, nice. Let me check. I'm not seeing it. Maybe I'm not looking in the right spot, Yomo. Did you say they did, or are you wondering, or you're saying they should have done that? Ash says Gambit is a must. I agree. I mean, honestly, man, every character that's coming out of this movie, I'm going to say is a must. I'm just going to have to really look at the budget and just be like, okay, what are the ones that I have to get? And what are the ones that I can hopefully wait on and kind of complete later on? For instance, the Thunderbolt Yelena is coming out. That's one that I can't wait to get in. But she also has a different look in this movie. A little bit of a different look. Not a major one, but her hair is a little bit longer. She's got different eye makeup. It looks like has a little bit different of a look. But that's one that, if I get the Thunderbolts version, I'm going to be okay with having that in the display. You know what I mean? So, it's kind of like that. It's just really kind of tough to decide. That's why I keep saying, Cyclops to me, Magneto, potentially even this Gambit, I'd say Cyclops and Magneto to me are the musts, because I just feel like I don't really know if we're ever going to get those again. And I know that sounds crazy. I mean, I'm sure they're going to make more, but I meant I don't know, man. I'm trying to justify getting them all, but it's going to be, I'm not going to be able to, but it's going to be a tough decision. There's going to be tough decisions, man. There's going to be tough decisions. What else we got here? We got Yomo who says, I still hoping they do Electra for Deadpool and Wolverine since they're finally doing Gambit. Yeah, that would be weird if that was the only one that didn't get made, Yomo. And he says, or even the younger version from Daredevil solo film. Yeah, I mean, I could see them. Something tells me they were already working on that character potentially, just like they were working on Gambit. The only thing is, man, maybe something fell through with the likeness rights or whatever. I don't know, but I think there's a good chance we still get that Electra. I don't know if it's going to be Deadpool Wolverine. I don't know if she shows up in Doomsday as a cameo. I don't know. But that would shock me if we don't get a Jennifer Garner Electra at some point. But yeah, dude, this Gambit looks great, man. I mean, just an awesome time, man. An awesome set of announcements here. And I'm just hyped, man. I'm just hyped for I'm just hyped. I think that's the best way to say it. I can't wait for the even more of the hype and build up for the movie. This movie gave us a ton of hype. Again, I keep saying it. They did San Diego Comic-Con right. Marvel really did a great job this year with San Diego Comic-Con, getting you hyped, and they really do a good job with that. But now it's how do you sustain the hype? And I think that Spider-Man is going to sustain it. And I think Spider-Man's going to elevate it, because I think this new Spider-Man movie that's coming out is going to be fantastic. And I think that that's going to really elevate it to the next level. And I just hope there's an incredible post-credit sequence. There has to be. With as much money as the Spider-Man movies are gonna make, they have to have something really big in the post-credit, and so I can't wait to see what that is. And you know that the Doomsday trailer is going to be all over in front of the Brand New Day. So again, next time we go live, I think I will do like a review on Brand New Day. We'll talk a little bit more about it, and once I've seen it, we'll do like a spoiler version of like, hey, here's the characters we're going to get now that the movie's come out. I'm hoping to go see it on Thursday, but if not, for sure Friday. But I'm hoping I get to go see it on Thursday. I'm really looking forward to Brand New Day. But yeah, let me know in the comments below before we head out here tonight, which one you're looking forward to the most. Like if you had to pick one out of the 4 that got announced for Doomsday, and don't think about your other collection, like just out of the 4, which one are you most hyped for based on those 4? Just because I know we're going to get another Doom, I'd have to say that the Cyclops for me is number 1. I think Scott Summers, Cyclops, James Marsden, that's the one that when I saw it, I was like, man, I'm actually going to be getting this character, dude. Because like I told you, I love the Fox X-Men movies. And I mean, Magneto's sick too, don't get me wrong. But that Cyclops just looks absolutely insane. So that's probably the one I'm most excited for based on this first wave. But honestly, dude, I think all 4 of these are like extremely high level hype for me, and ones that I'm really going to try to find a way to get all into the collection. I'm really nervous about how much Doomsday figures there's going to be. I'm getting like really nervous about it, and so I can't overcommit because it sounds silly, and I know a lot of people might not have the same. Like I can't wait to get that Yelena figure for Thunderbolts, but I saw her in the trailer for Doomsday, and I was like, dude, I never thought I would have like 2 versions of that character, especially like with how similar they're going to look in like costume design. But dude, she looked awesome in the trailer. And then I saw some of the new Avengers, and I was like, dude, if they announce a John Walker, like I've been begging for a John Walker figure. I would love to have the Red Guardian. Like, you see what I'm saying? You see how the slippery the slope gets? And it's like, dude, I probably want to pick up like, a few of these other X-Men characters while they're here, from the Fox universe, because who knows what happens to them in the movie, like, might not ever get another chance. I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm going to have to balance it out. And so we'll do some videos on that too, because I think that'll be like a fun topic. We've kind of already done that on some of my Road to Doomsday videos. If you haven't checked those out, definitely check those out on the channel. I stopped there for a while because there was nothing, like no news coming out, and I wasn't buying anything. So like I kind of just paused it. And I probably have like a good budget for this stuff because like part of it was like, using a budget to kind of create your ultimate Avengers Doomsday display. And now we're starting to see the Fantastic Four figures get released, all this different stuff. So again, if you want to check out those videos, cool. But I think I might pick up that series again just because it's like, now that we're getting more figures announced, there's more decisions being made, stuff like that. So I think it'd be kind of fun. Plus we got Brand New Day coming out. But, let's see what everybody had to say. Let me get caught up on some of these comments here. Yomo says all these X-Men that have to try to get Punisher and Hulk too. That's what I'm saying. Man. That's me too, Yomo. Like, I want all these, man. And it's just crazy because there's so like this is like you get kind of caught up in the hype, but this is what makes collecting fun for me. And the hype and the discussions and like us talking about Brand New Day, us talking about Doomsday, like that adds to the figure to me. Like to have that on the shelf and to be like, man, we were hyped. Remember the summer of 2026, man, how hyped we were for these figures, man. I think that adds to the appeal for a lot of these collectibles for me personally. So yeah, dude, it's going to be an expensive time, but also a fun time. And it's going to be fun to kind of decide what's going to actually make the collection. Yomo says Magneto's number 1. Great pick, man. Great pick. Ashpool says Thursday showing for me too, which is tomorrow, so not long to wait. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome, man. That is awesome. I'm very excited to see it. Ash. Yomo says Cyclops is very close, but I love Ian McKellen and Magneto as a character. I hear you, man. Totally. I totally hear you on that. They're very close for me as well. Yomo says his order be Mag, Cyclops, Professor X. Yeah, we didn't even talk about the Professor X. I'm kind of waiting to see like an official announcement for that, because some of the pictures I've seen from Comic-Con, I just wanted to kind of see everything that came with it before I did a video on that. So once him and Beast and the Sentinel get announced officially, I'll make some videos on that as well. And then Ash says, getting all but happy to have Gambit had to Deadpool Wolverine. And that's the thing too, Ash, is like, that's what's really cool about that Gambit is like, you might not be wanting, I mean, I'm sure if you're somebody that collects Deadpool Wolverine, you're also going to collect Doomsday. But to be able to add him to the Deadpool Wolverine line is really cool. And that's why I'm hoping, like you almost said earlier about the Elektra, I'm really hoping that we get that as well for people that really want to finish that line out, man. That'd be really cool. If you get Elektra, you really feel like you finished that entire line. And that's really cool. But guys, we've had consistently 8 to 12 in the chat all night. I truly am grateful, man. We just went ahead and went live. I didn't really promote it or anything. Because to be honest with you, I didn't even know I was going to go live until like 20 minutes before I did. But it really means the world to me that not only were you here, but you were staying active in the chat. Yomo, Ash, you know, we had Geo in the chat. We had Real Mike L. I know we had some others. And if I forgot your name, please forgive me. We had Brick Artemis in the building. And we had DeGito as well. I think I saw DeGito in there at some point. We had Jeffrey, Page. So I just wanted to say I really appreciate you guys taking the time to comment. Taking the time to be here, and I really do appreciate it, man. We'll be streaming more. I don't have a set date that I'm doing anymore, but like it'll just be like this, kind of randomized. Hopefully I can start like knowing what day of the week I'm going to stream, and I can kind of put that out there a little bit earlier, so that way if you were wanting to check it out, you can check it out live. But if you're watching this on the replay, definitely let me know in the comments below what one out of this first wave of announcements you're most excited for. And if you are in the chat right now, if you could hit the thumbs up button on your way out, I'd really appreciate it. And I think that's all we got for tonight. So thank y'all so much, man, for being here. Thank you for hanging out with me, talking Hot Toys, talking Avengers Doomsday, talking San Diego Comic-Con. It's been a lot of fun. And yeah, that's all I got. So thank y'all so much for being here. And hopefully, you know what? Not hopefully. I'll see you in the next one, because we're going to go live again. We're going to go live again within the next week or two. So I'll see you in the next one. All right. See you guys.